Oh my god, the cope. Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back, and welcome to Hell Week, Hell Month, Hell whatever. As you can guess, we are going to be looking into Sam and Colby this week. Now, we're not looking at any of their videos specifically, but I have been getting recommendations to their Reddit just recently, and it is wild. You blend in. This is a problem, you blend in. Say hello. Say hello. Yay. Beautiful girl. Like and subscribe for this one if you like void kitties. Like and subscribe. Would you like to sit on the desk? I think that's what you want. You like to sit on the desk. She likes to hunt my mouse on my computer screen, so that's what she's doing right now. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by the cat. Yeah, their subreddit is absolutely wild. At least the stuff that I've been recommended. So we've checked out Twin Paranormal subreddit before, and let's check out Sam and Colby's. So without further ado, go grab a drink. I've got mine, it's on my desk. But there's a cat in the way, and let's get into the video. What are you getting distracted by? Okay, stop. So obviously this is a fan subreddit. There is going to be fan behaviour, fan art, people just blindly believing. But it's the little bits in between that are just fantastic. My thoughts on the new video as a witch. Boy, where do I begin? I've complained about their videos before, but you're all going to hear it again. This video genuinely might be the worst video containing witchcraft they've done. I truly don't even know where to start. The way they talk about witchcraft literally tells us all we need to know about how much knowledge they have on the subject. Spoiler, it's zero. In the beginning, they blow out the candles to summon something. In witchcraft, that does the opposite effect. Okay. You blow a candle out to dispel or release energy, not to call it to you. Candles are kind of like lighthouses for spirits since it connects to the element of fire. That is why it's so heavily used in spirit work. I felt so disgusted how they portrayed witchcraft to be evil the entire time, yet ask for help from witches in every other video. I don't know why any witches help them. It makes me think they aren't real witches and are hired to be one. Witchcraft is not affiliated with Satan or Christianity in general. It can be, since witchcraft is a practice and not a religion. However, most witches don't believe in Christianity law. Witchcraft, paganism, Wicca, etc. are all different things. Paganism and Wicca are religions and may involve witchcraft. While witchcraft is the practice of magic itself, they very clearly don't understand this. The witch they invite is incredibly sketchy to me. A part of me thinks she's not an actual witch, but I don't want to falsely accuse her. My main problem with her is when she said Satan is the father of witches. That's not true. They are not connected automatically. It can be true for an individual witch who decides to work with Satan, but not every single witch is the child of Satan. For a witch, she would know this. Or at least very... Oh... Are you hunting the microphone bar? As I talk, the microphone bar is like dancing, and she's here. She's hunting it. That's adorable. I wonder what she was getting distracted by on the other screen. For a witch, she should know this, or at very least clarified that most witches don't worship Satan. As for the actual summoning, it makes no sense. Roses symbolize love, beauty, sex, etc. Unless she's trying to get freaky with the devil, I'm not sure why she chose a ring of roses. From what I could tell, they have no protection. They really could have been talking to anyone, or nothing at all, which is most likely. The only accurate thing really is the wine as an offering. At the end of the day, a witch's path is different, so I can't fully judge the ritual if I don't have all the context, but the ritual doesn't sit right with me. I really wish they would stop spreading misinformation about witchcraft. That's literally how the witch trials started, and it just demonizes a whole group of people. Just a reminder, it was the Christians who murdered the pagans when they didn't convert. Yes, wholeheartedly agree with this. I agree with you. The way they portray witchcraft to be evil is the same way that they assume every spirit they encounter is a demonic entity. I honestly think they intentionally sabotage the ritual because they're too scared to follow through, but they need the content. So instead, they just make it seem like they completed it. Like you mentioned, and I'm going to take your word for it, that blowing out the candles at the start actually does the opposite. when it comes to them spreading misinformation about witchcraft, I don't think they care that much. To them, it is just entertainment and a concept, so they're not too concerned with accuracy. It's pretty clear they don't listen to what fans have to say anyway, so even if you criticise them for spreading misinformation, they're not going to make any effort to change what they're doing. My feelings on the night we summoned the devil. I'm a pagan who used to be a Baptist. In all my years, I have never once seen a ritual like that be used for summoning a demonic entity. Because the devil isn't just Satan or Lucifer. There are many devils in demonology. I commend Colby for walking away because it was against his faith, and he had every right and common sense to do so. I also personally felt off about this episode as I lost 3 ancestors to the witch trials in Europe, and only one of them was ever seen doing witchcraft. Of course, I don't have any proof that she was or wasn't a witch. And sadly, most of the victims of the trials were either too young or too old to grasp what was happening, and some were people who just use herbs to heal and mend. People think witchcraft is about summoning and dancing nude covered in blood, but it's about healing, mending and bringing peace. Also, Wicca and pagan are different and both completely separate from Satanism. Also, hate me all you want, but Satanism isn't devil worship. At least not if you're going by the actual religious views and not the bastardized version people claim. Please look into it and do research. I'm still a fan and will watch, but as an active pagan priestess, witch, paranormal investigator, and someone who holds all faiths close to my heart, this one really didn't sit well with me. I'm not just going to focus on this video, but this is like the most recent thing that they posted, so people have thoughts. The night we summoned the devil is something. I already made a post, but I have done more research and decided to rewrite it more clearly with detailed explanation, also responding to some comments I received from people. This is to make others realise and understand that they should not believe everything shown in their videos. To start off, they also told the story of the witch trials a bit wrong, basically explaining that she started... What? Okay, I am missing context because I have not watched the video, but I'm just going to read it. Basically explaining that she started the witch trials, but she wasn't the only one, as many before her set it in motion to becoming a full-blown event. They claimed the dog had fiery eyes, which isn't true, which she only mentioned it was a black dog. Plus, not everyone said they met a dog like Alizon, possibly. I'm not good with names. And only a few mentioned familiar ones, but not the exact one. In correlation to that, I must also mention the fact that they kept referring to the woman as a witch, which is severely disrespectful to the victims in the modern world. None of the victims were proven to have ever done witchcraft, as it isn't as real as how courts treated them back in the 1600s. Many were either vulnerable, poor or elderly, since it makes them easier targets for accusations. Alison was not a true witch, but just an 18-year-old, like in the scriptures, who was accused of being one, and she only confessed under the fear-induced pressure from the court. Many thought confessing would save their lives, when it was, in fact, the opposite. The Hellhound story was one forced confession story. They were accused of other reasons, such as bewitching neighbours. Now let's continue onwards to their devil ritual. I've had someone tell me that the devil is only depicted as evil in Hollywood, and that I am only explaining Hollywood Satan, which isn't true. Even in folklore and religious backgrounds, the devil is portrayed as something with pure evil in its soul. The devil is known for deception, temptation, consequences, misfortune, evil and danger, which is how it has always been depicted. No exceptions to that. The way this devil tried to make them believe it isn't who we say it is, and that it is helpful, is a sign of deception, and they foolishly thought it. Well, that's only if it were a true ritual. Satan / the devil is considered a spiritual being, not an entity you can call up for a quiz on a Sunday morning and grab a coffee with. No historical rituals have ever summoned him, or if attempts were made, they never worked. We could see in this video that they included a cross in the middle, which was shaped like a cross. Well, if you put a cross in the middle, it is going to be shaped like a cross. Okay. In Christianity, crosses ward off evil and doesn't invite it in. The setup looked like a fancy party instead of something that would actually bring the most evil deity in the universe. The most well-known thing that would have been an actual attempt to summon is the red pentagram, or the satanic star, in better words. You wouldn't offer wine or your blessing for the devil to keep you safe, since you'd instead just give the opposite. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, I gave up trying to read that because it is incoherent at best. But they're definitely reaching for views, which is crazy. I stopped watching them because they are at this point just actors. And the fact that they never respect or even acknowledge other religions or deities. Also, in reference to depiction of the devil, they are people who separate devil, Lucifer and Satan. For some, Lucifer is not as evil as the devil, and is actually more mellow and overall a deity that can thrive off of mentoring their followers. There are also those that believe Satan isn't inherently evil, really only in the Christian context would this be the evil devil that is commonly portrayed. Of course, that is most likely what they intended to summon for their content, the Christian interpretation of the devil. So your analysis works. Still, if they really wanted to stick to the Christian faith at its core of their investigations, then I wish they would at least acknowledge other religions and not deem everything as a demon or the devil. It's coming off as whitewashing other people's cultures and ignorance of other beliefs. I'm hoping they grow to show more respect for other religions and faiths, and even the paranormal itself. Real? Question mark? I personally think it's real. Sure, I think some stuff could easily be faked. For example, the witch in the new video could hear them and easily write down whatever answers she wanted. But on the other side, I genuinely believe the REM pod and nursery rhyme machine thing. Oh, what, the thing that's been proven to basically be broken and go off whenever it wants, and that investigators actually have to physically turn off because that thing never shuts up. That one. Okay. Sam and Colby seem like genuine people, and most of what I think is fake on their channel is because other people go on there and fake it. If they were faking, they could add more fake details to make it more interesting. In my opinion, their reactions are over the top because creepy stuff is happening to them in real life. I think if they were purposely faking it, they could improve their reactions to be more serious. And if it was fake, they would add a lot more random details. Not to mention they went to an illegal. Why would they risk themselves for a video that they could fake at some other house? What? They're on about that island. The thing is, they are faking it. Straight up. They have been caught doing some very questionable things, sort of behind the scenes footage that has been released, especially when they broke that Boo Bear thing, like a REM pod or whatever inside a teddy bear. But also, if crazy, insane things are happening to you week after week after week after week after week, you're gonna get desensitized to it and your reactions are gonna come down because it is now normal. The fact that they are however many years into this and they're still up here in their reactions, it's fake because you acclimatize to it and it becomes normal. And something in the beginning that would have made you go, oh fuck, it's now like, it's a random Tuesday. So that also needs to be taken into account as well, and I don't think people are really seeing the bigger picture with that. Well, a lot of people are, but like they're like diehard fans. Bring back authenticity. Sam and Colby's quality of content has rapidly declined. That's becoming a theme because we've also heard this being said of Twin Paranormal. Funnily enough, I have seen a lot of people like in the comments, well, not a lot of people, but some people in the comments of this subreddit being like, oh, I don't watch Sam and Colby because they're fake. I watch Twin Paranormal. They're like so legit. And I'm just like, babes, like really? You've just gone from one fake team to another fake team. What are you doing? You figured one out. You can figure the other one out, you know? You're getting there. Sam and Colby's content has rapidly declined. It feels like they have stopped believing in the paranormal or have simply gotten bored and are consistently having to collab with other content creators who will bring the energy, fascination and respect the videos are lacking. Because they're becoming too focused on clout than the quality and authenticity of their content. I remember when they didn't use equipment. The Urbex videos were scarier and more entertaining than their newer videos, and their Hell Week or Help Month has gotten worse. You can't step up the bar if the bar is consistently being faked. The bar doesn't exist. They used to do intensive research and history of the places they went to, which created a sense of wonder and natural curiosity, rather than the current storytelling approach they have to the history of places. Feels like every fact they're telling us is confirmed to a narrative plan to create a spooky mystery waiting to be solved, when in reality it's usually an old building with a few myths flying around it. They've found their new fans are susceptible and cannot tell the difference between faked and real content. I'm assuming most of their new fans are around 11 or 12, or somewhere around that age, Sam and Colby can do anything and get away with it because the money they get from the crappy content they're shoving out is burying the discontent from their older fans, and their newer fans enjoy its entertainment factor. It's likely to never happen, but I'd love to see them exploring abandoned places again. No paranormal stuff, just hanging out with their friends and vlogging it. Something authentic and a different perspective that shows a side that isn't pandering to money. And this is not all hate. It's a rant out of frustration for a genre of content I used to love. Sam and Colby's new content may be loved by many. I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy it if it's up your alley, but it's just not as authentic and doesn't show the level of integrity as it was previously. I personally cannot sit through a video now without thinking this is so fake. And I want to highlight this post because channels like Sam and Colby and Twin Paranormal and Brain, help, please. Whoever else is a big channel, I can't think of anybody else right now, sorry. They are built off the backs of like the urbex community, and they got big through being genuine. I mean, if you lose your genuinality, you were never genuine, it was a mask. But they went from being something real and personable and it had heart in it. And then as they've grown, they've just gone, fuck you guys. Thank you for the money. Thank you for building our empire. Thank you for getting us up off the ground. But fuck you. We don't need you anymore. You can leave. You know, you did all the hard work for us. You got us to where we are, but I don't care. And I think those kind of content creators are the worst ones because they build a community and they build an empire off of a group of fans, and then they throw them away like they're nothing because they just care about the money. They just care about the clout. And it was never about the fans, and it was never about building something real. It was just about the money. And I think that's so sad, and so many people get hurt by that. I wish they'd attempt to debunk like they used to. I've been watching Sam and Colby for a good while now. Loved their older videos. There was something so genuine about them. I would get fully immersed in their ghost hunting videos, but for the last 2 years, I've become so skeptical about it all. And even before watching them, I was not really skeptical about the paranormal. I grew up watching horror movies, games, and doing deep dives into the paranormal. I've always loved it. So when I found Sam and Colby, I was like, score. I think personally for me, it's the lack of rationality. Whether you fully believe or not, naturally, as humans, we are rational things. They don't try to do that anymore. And I think that's where I started to become skeptical. It just seems like a performance and not authentic. What I liked about their older videos is their pure curiosity and somewhat skeptics. Like with the spirit box, it'll say some random word that's completely off topic and they'll dig deep to try to connect it and make it make sense, but it doesn't half the time. I've always preferred their solo videos where it's just them, or the videos with the OG squad, but the guests throw it off for me too. Now don't get me wrong, they're amazing entertainers and I truly respect their hustle, but it's disappointing when I watch their videos now and I come off less believing in it all. Also, the other devices they use, they need to do some control tests or something with no cuts. The only method, if I had to pick, that I believe in is the Estes method. Okay. No fancy equipment. I don't know. Maybe I'm just complaining to complain. Yeah, they used to focus on intelligent responses more, but now whatever happens, they just try to jam it in to whatever narrative they're trying to make, even when the responses don't really make sense with it. They don't debunk anything because everything they do is staged. How do you think Sam and Colby fake their vids? With the recent evidence provided on the subreddit of the candle wick being edited in the video and the countless pieces of evidence that they fake their vids, is it really that hard to type video instead of vids? Like, am I old? Does that make me old? That I would happily provide, but it would take too long to write it all down. Lazy. Do the work. No, it's fine. How do you think they fake their vids? Like, firstly, do you think they tell their guests that it's fake and they're in on it? How do you think they interact off camera? You were both after something under that sofa today. What's the matter? No, you're going in cuddle jail because you're being annoying. How do you think they interact off camera? Do you think they joke around while setting up the next bit of the fake video? Do you think they feel guilty about what they're doing? I also wonder if they ever actually catch ghost evidence without faking it. Like, what's the ratio between real evidence to fake? I'm going to answer these questions before we scroll down the comments. Umbra's got zoomies. I think it depends on the guest. I think some of the guests genuinely could be in on it, like Seth, for example. Other guests, especially if they're more like believable or easily led or whatever, like, guys, my cat is broken. Yeah, I don't think they told, like, Call Me Chris, for example, that they were faking anything. So I think it really depends on the guest. I think with that behind the scenes footage that we did see from when Sam, Colby and Seth broke Boo Bear.
No! You broke him! No! You just fucking Kim just fainted! No!
You stopped that bear!
No! You roundhouse that bear off the table!
Imagine if it talks again.
Just like, why'd you keep me, bitch?
They do spend a lot of time off camera just joking around, pissing about. I don't think they feel guilty about what they're doing. And I would be very surprised if anything that they catch is real. Oh, it's on the main page under educational recent post with a picture of Sam holding a candle. Ooh, we'll go check that out in a minute. Easy, there are no ghosts or demons. They use loud noises and bank on their mostly younger audience believing they're crap. This, yes, wholeheartedly. I'm gonna go ahead and assume their guests don't know they're faking because Sam and Colby talk about their experiences so often and they genuinely seem truthful. Why would they think Sam and Colby are faking? They interviewed a doctor. Did they? I don't pay attention. My advice is maybe they should get their guests to sign NDAs. That's just that. Why? If they've got nothing to hide, why? Abandoned buildings and old houses are good places to find snakes and all of that. So if one of their guests get hurt or gets sick from the fumes of a dying house, they should shut up about it. No, but maybe with being as big as they are, they should have some sort of like no liability contract or something. So like if you get hurt on this location, then it's not our fault. It's your fault for going there, but not an NDA. You don't need to silence people. That's a bit weird. I don't think Sam and Colby are malicious backstabbers. Maybe at some point they generally thought ghosts were real, but then they found out that that's not the case. But with the money rolling in, why would they care? In my opinion, they act way less hyper off camera, probably just dudes. I would see them as hella stressed out from the way YouTube and the internet is being handled. Italian ghosts. I know a lot of their content is a little bit exaggerated for the purposes of entertainment. Just a little bit, just a smidge, maybe just a little bit. Also, please correct me if I'm wrong, but in their first Hell Week video, they went to Povelaga, possibly. They said they wanted to speak to some ghosts or whatever, but what ruined the immersion for me was the fact that these ghosts were communicating in English. I don't know if I'm just uneducated, but shouldn't they be speaking Italian? Exactly. That is like my whole thing. Like, why do all ghosts speak English or like the native language of the person doing the ghost hunt? Why is it always modern English? Why is it never a foreign language? Why is there never any struggle to understand each other? Why is there no like Middle English, Old English, different slang, different dialects, different regional, even regional slang? There is never any difference. It's always contextually modern English. Although, as someone who watches them just for entertainment, I'm aware it's faked and heavily exaggerated. I didn't even think about that. That's actually hilarious. Oh my god, the coat. My theory is that they only really got communication with a ghost named Peggy and the doctor because they were some of the only ones on the island who could speak English in their lifetime. Peggy isn't an Italian name, so she could have been English or American working on the island. And there's a good chance the doctor would have spoken English as well. That's also why they got almost nothing that pertains to the plague. You'd think if they were going to fake stuff, they'd focus on stuff about the plague, since that's what the island is known for. I'm not saying they don't fake stuff, with some exceptions, but with some exceptions this episode seemed fairly genuine. This ruins the credibility of a lot of paranormal investigators for me. They will go to regions where English is not a spoken language, but collect audio and EVP evidence and interactions in English. However, there are some out there that have collected the native dialect languages or all languages of the region. For instance, the boys have collected Spanish-speaking evidence in regions of America where Spanish would be just as likely to come through is English. They believe in one they may have captured Native American as well, or some form of Native American spiritual activity. Okay, that's slightly interesting. Maybe the boys are just smarter with their bullshit. Or maybe if it's coming through a spirit box, because I know the boys use spirit boxes a lot, it could just be a Spanish radio or a native radio station. Also that. As an Italian myself, yes, they should have spoken Italian or at least had a translator. That made me a little disappointed about their video. Italian ghosts that speak fluent English from a time where the spoken English had little to nothing to do with current English. Yeah, doesn't seem legit at all. Exactly. I think this will be the last one because we're at 45 minutes right now. Granted, Umbra was being a complete nutcase for most of that, but anyway. I'm a paranormal investigator and I am conflicted on Sam and Colby's recent content. I've been having a hard time watching the more recent videos because now that this is part of my job, it's really changed my view on investigating in general. To be completely transparent, I've been a fan for a while. I haven't always agreed with how they did things or even believe in them, but I still remained a fan. However, I feel like recently they have been doing things that are completely foul. It's become inconsiderate and reckless. Now, I know a lot of fans are saying Sam's possessed or whatever, but in all honesty, I believe it's from a place of greed and selfishness. Colby has publicly stated multiple times he's become more and more uncomfortable with Sam's actions, yet continues. His discomfort seems to be just for PR, which is honestly whatever. Lots of influencers fake drama for clicks. They have been using AI, disrespectful to the dead, and pushing boundaries that shouldn't be crossed. I'm not surprised, but still disappointed. I don't know, willing to change my mind depending if someone has a different opinion, but I'm honestly pretty close to unsubscribing and selling my merch. Completely agree, Sam and Colby need to have a serious look at their content and change a lot of things. It seems since Hell Week 2023, they've become something that is against what they believe in. How do you know what they believe in? What they claim to believe in? Because that's different. Sam needs to think of Colby a lot more and stop chasing that clout. It's sad because I am interested in the paranormal and I feel like it's being used as a clout chasing thing when it shouldn't be. They need to have a serious think about things in 2026 in my opinion. They can't keep upsetting fans, it's not right. Literally a minute after posting about this I found out about the witch trial AI and it's disgusting, so I will be unsubscribing and selling my merch because I refuse to support that creator, historian and feminist. What's the witch trial AI? They used AI generated pictures of witches in the new video. Oh, I don't feel like that's bad. Personally, I think it comes across as disrespectful to the victims to create some AI generated pictures of them, but my main issue is the AI itself. There's another recent post about the AI issue on this subreddit that I completely agree with, but basically the impact of creating even one AI image is massive on the environment, but you have Sam and Colby creating large amounts of images. I feel like they totally could have used real art to portray these people they're discussing but opted to use AI instead. I'm 27 and I grew up with Sam and Colby since the Vine days. I stopped watching Sam and Colby 2 years ago after the Conjuring House series because of how obnoxious they've become. These are two grown men, almost 30, and they still act like they're 14-year-old boys in their videos, which is quite embarrassing. They need to just give up ghost hunting and find a better hobby at this point. It's the same stuff, but different place. And sometimes the same people with their videos. It gets old after a while. I've unfollowed Sam and Colby on social media and unsubscribed to their channel. I can't watch them anymore. This isn't a Sam and Colby teardown comment, but when you mature you realise they're nothing anymore and act like complete teenagers despite almost being 30. I've become sick of them at this point. Yeah, when I was a teenager I enjoyed them, but now I'm a full adult I get secondhand embarrassment. I used to love them when they were doing their videos with TFIL in the early days and love their content for a while, but everything just feels so performative with them these days. There was that other thing, wasn't there? So I went and found that post. I have always believed Sam and Colby was real, but in the recent video you see the wick of the candle is big, but there's a cut and when Sam goes to light it, the wick is burnt out. This means that they did multiple takes of this scene and it wasn't one ongoing ritual, it was staged for the camera. That is a very long wick, and there's nothing there. Entertainers, not paranormal investigators. They've always been that way. Every video there's blatantly obvious things that are faked and exaggerated. You can still enjoy their content though, they're great entertainers. Thank you. The amount of people always trying to debunk the videos, the entertainers on YouTube. I know the videos are more than likely fake, but I still like watching them because I love the ghost hunting spooky shit. And that's fine. But saying it like this, it's like, oh, we're stupid for trying to debunk the videos. No, we're not. Because just because you have the rational concept of it's fake, or it's probably fake, or whatever, doesn't mean everybody does. And we're doing the videos for the people that are completely sucked in. The people that don't realise that it's fake. The people that are hanging off of their every word. If you don't need to be told that it's fake, then brilliant. Go enjoy their content. You do you. But then we're not making our videos for you. And that doesn't mean that we shouldn't make them. I think I'm done scrolling through this. Something that really did jump out to me is in the Twin Paranormal subreddit. It was a lot of like, I'm a fan, I'm not hating, I promise. I've been a fan for 3 years, I've been a fan for 2 years, but. And it was a lot of like having to defend yourself before you criticise. And I think, you don't get anything with this. That's not there with this. It's like, this subreddit, you can actually have a constructive conversation. Or it is very much a, yeah, it's fake, but it's funny, or whatever. Yeah, I just find that very interesting. It's like how different this community is compared to like the Twin Paranormal community on Reddit. Yeah, I guess let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think. And do you enjoy going through paranormal YouTuber subreddits? Because I'm quite happy to sit down and just do a video where I talk shit scrolling through a subreddit, you know? I don't think I have too much to say on this one, to be honest. But yeah, let me know what you thought. If you liked this video, go check out my other videos. I have lots of different ones. And also check out my other content if there's anything else that I make that you'd be interested in. Also, if you are one of my simmers, even though you're probably not over here, check out Project Plumbob. We would love to have you. And I also have my own personal Discord server if you'd like to hang out with me outside of videos. The links to absolutely everything will always be found down in the description below. But yeah, if you like the video, subscribe, maybe check out another one, like the video. And with that, I think I'm gonna stop zoning out and staring at my wall, which I edit out so you don't see. And I will leave you to the rest of your day now. I hope it's a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye.